This podcast is powered by the pros at Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
And we are now less than a month, Bill, until the start of the college football season, because we do have a week 0. So I know it's not quite the playing portion of the season. It's also, I mean, it's still kind of the talking portion of the season, and pretty soon it's the practicing portion of the season.
We've got coming up on the 24th of August in Dublin, Ireland, a Florida State-Georgia Tech matchup. I'm not saying that's the most attractive thing that any of us have ever seen, but it'll get that ball up in the air, and Florida State's about a 13-point favorite. I was just looking at that. I just started looking at that stuff the other morning, and I think Georgia Tech may give them a fight.
How important is it for Florida State this year to, they're trying to get out of this league. They're trying to get out of the ACC. So is Clemson. Winning a championship for your league is one thing, but when you're trying to get out of that league almost to make a point that it's not good enough,
right.
And it's also you win your league, you go to the playoff 12, so these things will go together.
Also, their track out of that league feels as if it's slowed down significantly. They have until the 15th of August, which let's just call it 2 weeks, to notify the league that they're departing, or they're stuck contractually for 2 more years. Now, I'm not saying that some kind of court settlement or some kind of money settlement can't erase that, but right now it doesn't look like they're going anywhere soon.
Hey, Bill, I want to stay in Florida. 2 Florida schools opening up week 1, Florida and Miami, and it looks like that game's in Gainesville. Which one of these 2 teams? We all know Florida's schedule, that it's daunting. I mean, the gauntlet they got to go through is out of control. But which one of these 2 teams, Bill, is this game more important for, Miami or Florida, week 1?
Florida. Billy Napier is in much peril. And you just mentioned they have the toughest schedule in America. You lose that game to a very good roster now. And it's tough to see you circumnavigating 6 wins. I don't know that would help him survive anyways, but no, it's more important. Now, Mario Cristobal, it's important for him because they had a really good transfer portal. They got in Cam Ward, the quarterback that everybody loved, and other really good players, a big-time running back out of Oregon State. So they're starting quarterback or running back or transfers who are very accomplished. But the knock on Hurricane Mario is that he can't coach a lick during the game and doesn't know how to finish out a game. He's got to erase that from his resume. He's not going to get fired, but it's important for them to, just not as much as it is for Billy.
Is that the school that's been at the top of the list as far as on-field success not relating properly to the level of talent on the roster, Miami?
Yes and no. Since Larry Coker's demise 20 plus years ago, their talent level on some level has deteriorated, and they lost their attractiveness in Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach counties, which is South Florida. And if you can own that area, you can go fight anybody anytime on the football field. They lost that attractiveness, and they weren't keeping the hometown guys. Mario Cristobal is a really good recruiter. He's got them back to where they're getting their better share of those players. I don't think through the years it's been more talent. I think they've been poorly coached. I think the resounding theme through all these years and all these coaches is they've been poorly coached, other than Mark Richt.
Bill, I'm looking at this Texas A&M Notre Dame game as well at week 1. Is that a game that you see Notre Dame, are they a team that's going to win 10 games this year? Does that weigh? Who's more important this week 1 non-conference game? Who needs to win more, Notre Dame or Texas A&M?
Well, there's no job security issue at all. Mike Elko, year 1. But I would say maybe Notre Dame, just because, and the spread's like a half point, and it fluctuates. But Notre Dame is probably not going to be an underdog in any game as of right now that they play during the regular season. They get Florida State later, they get Southern Cal, but they're going to be favored in every game. If they win that game, they ought to win more than 10. They may go 11-1, 12-0 if that happens. I'd say it's kind of an interesting stress test for Mike Elko, a guy I'm a big fan of. And it's game one, Connor Wegman healthy at quarterback, all that talent there, even the ones that stayed. But I don't know if it's more important. It might be more important for the psyche of Notre Dame, maybe.
The another question I got is the other coach that was going to go, Kentucky's head ball coach that flirted a little bit with A&M and then it didn't go through. Is there, and then he's kind of come out in the news saying some things about not having the resources or not having the time. Is he kind of setting it up for his departure? I mean, he kind of flirted with it last year. Do you think he's a guy that could be on the move at the end of this year?
I just don't know where he's going. Now, he would have had that A&M job had it not been for the Tennessee type thing with Greg Schiano, where social media blew up because Ross Bjork wanted him, and Ross is now at Ohio State. If they ended up running Ryan Day, which basically he's almost under the edict, win a national championship or else. Now, it's not quite that severe, but it's close. And he can't lose to Michigan. Would Ross Bjork turn back around and try and hire a guy from Youngstown, Ohio, Mark Stoops up there at Ohio State? Unclear, because a lot would have to happen there. He's also an Iowa former player, an Iowa grab. If Kirk Ferentz, who's been at Iowa since 1999, retired, which there's no indication there, would they go after him? Probably would. But I don't think he has anywhere to go. And you're right. He publicly called out his collective, their money raising, their resources, and said, you guys are killing me. I am committing hours to begging for money when I need to be coaching. I need to be working on the team. And that was pretty blatant right there.
Yeah, that was the thing that really stood out about it. It's, coaches will complain about NIL and some of the things that they have to do in order to help raise that money, but I've never heard anybody say, I'm doing this alone. 3/4 of my time is dedicated to this. I mean, that's just that was stunning to hear. Usually they'll pay dividends to somebody else to help them along with anything. He was just I do this absolutely by myself, and that blew me away.
And he said, I don't know how much longer I can do this. That's pretty significant.
Okay, so how about the idea of more coaches getting out of college football because of what's coming down the pike? And now it's right there in front of us, Bill. I mean, when the portal opens in December, you're talking about recruiting to the new model of college football. 105 players on the roster probably means 105 scholarships, payments to players, reporting your NIL, a lot of other things that I'm still not sure about because this hasn't even been an accepted settlement in this House lawsuit. But it's right there, and this is the last year of college football in its current iteration. It only lasted 2 or 3 years, and it totally changes. Really, for me, it's not next August; it's when the portal opens.
We go to 105 in the calendar year 25-26, so literally this time next year. 105 means more players to be unhappy about playing time and transfers. It just takes that Wild West and makes it a Wilder West.
Is that what you think it means? Because I wonder about, I've kicked around, what does it mean for baseball, 34 scholarships? I don't think basketball, I'm not sure if it affects it all that much. Football, you got to lower your number of players pretty dramatically. You're upping your number of scholarships. When it sounds like you expect, there are a lot more transfers. Not into the probably in the program, but just a lot more transfers in the sport overall.
Yeah, and of the 105, how many are being happily paid? We don't know. But everybody's getting something, I'm assuming, on that level. But you're just going to see more acrimony. And got to remember also, if everything is headed in the right direction in calendar year 25-26, the money's going to flow in-house. And there's a lot of talk about collectives getting cut out. They want that money. They just don't want the collectives involved. And there's also all these rules, if you've read the fine print, that says the NCAA will have a committee, and every deal that a collective cuts has to go through them, and they have to approve it. Now, what kind of cluster bleep is that going to be?
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.